Hi there, welcome back to Still Waters ASMR. In today's video, we're using my bullet journal, and I'm going to create a new spread, and this is for like batch cooking, meal planning. Now I'm going to do it in a fairly simple manner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to list different like favourite recipes down one side that are things I can batch cook. And then what I'll do is I'll just colour in squares as I do each like recipe. That way, my big grand plan is that I'm going to start setting aside one day a week to do batch cooking. And now say on one day a week I do 2 big batches of something that will then do so for example, the other day I did a big pot of chilli, like a chili con carne, and that is like 4 meals worth for my family. It's sort of about 10 portions worth, because sort of like 2.5 portions per meal for me, my husband and my daughter. So it was basically 4 evening meals with that. And then yesterday I did a big pot of minestrone soup, which again is 4 meals worth, 4 evening meals worth. So now I don't like eating the same meal 2 days in a row. So for example, the chili con carne, we had 1 portion, the other 3 portions go in the freezer. That means on another day in another week, I just pull that out the freezer, heat it up, and then, boil some rice, and that's an easy meal. If I was to, this is where I need paper to like think out loud on. Right, here's a scrap of paper. So, if week 1 and week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, week 7, week 8, week 9, week 10, week 11, week 12. So, if in week 1 I do a big pot of chili and minestrone soup, those are meals for that week. We can then have spread it out. So we'll then, like every week, we will then have some kind of easy, so for example, pizza, or my husband will cook steak. So the things that I wouldn't batch cook, that you cook from scratch that night. So we might have fish and chips, or we might have a takeaway, but we'll basically have an easy meal at least once every week. At least 1 easy meal. Actually, let's say 2. So it'll be things like omelettes, pizza, steak, fish and chips, like anything where we're cooking it fresh that day. Or getting like a takeaway or something. So we then have 3 meals left to fill out. So if then in week 2 if in week 2 I then say do bolognese, so spaghetti bolognese and chorizo soup. That means that in week 3, if I do 2 portions of something, so say fajita mix and gosh, I don't know, lasagna. And then I maybe do enchiladas and leek and potato soup. And so you get the idea. So basically it creates a rolling effect where I'm then cooking, you know, once I've been doing it for a few weeks, I can accumulate and have, so I'll always have a really good stock of meals. Now I wouldn't necessarily do it like, right, every 2 weeks have the same menu, but by every week, if I'm doing like a couple batches, it then covers like going forward. And then when you mix in a couple easy meals a week, then it just, yeah, basically. So this is my grand plan. So what I'm thinking, rather than sitting down, because I like to have the flexibility of seeing what I feel like on the day, so we can do the batch cooking, put it in the freezer. I have a label on the front of the fridge where I write down like what's in the freezer, so I can make a note of what's in the freezer. And then when it comes to dinner time, I'm needing inspiration. I go look at the freezer and go, oh, there's some bolognese in the freezer. I update the label on the front of the freezer to, that I've removed one of the bolognese. I'll defrost that, heat it up, put on some pasta, jobs are good on. And so that's kind of my thinking, is just, so I won't have every week planned out in advance as such. It will be, but from a week to week basis, when I think, right, I need to do a grocery shop, what do I need from the shop? I can look at I'm going to create a list here of all the different ideas of things I can batch cook. And then I will, by colouring it in, so for example, if I've made fajitas like 3 times, but I haven't made bolognese yet, I know to go and it just helps to make sure that I kind of hit all the different recipes and get a good variety. So that is my thinking. Now, obviously, as I said, there's certain meal options that we do that aren't suitable for batch cooking, things that we would prepare fresh. So this is just going to be batch cooking ideas. So I've got some like cookbooks here, and we're going to go through them, and we're going to have a little bit of a think and just try and look for some inspiration, because I've kind of lost my inspiration with my cooking lately. Right, so we're going to call this batch cooking meal ideas. Just gonna grab my ruler. As I've mentioned before, neatness isn't exactly my top concern when it comes to my bullet journal. I more go for function. So what I'm going to do is, will I draw a grid? I think I might. my cat just jumped up into the bookshelf that holds my microphone and my camera. Right. Butter bean and chorizo soup. Typically that does like 4 servings. If I was to just double it up, I could make it into 8 servings. So we're going to make that the first recipe. That's a Gordon Ramsay recipe from his fast food menu. My mum's minestrone soup. Minestrone soup. I said I made a big pot of that yesterday because that's the thing, is cooking takes time, especially something like this minestrone soup. It's quite a sort of take a good hour or so to make. My brain is happiest doing like one thing for a certain period of time, like focusing on one big task, and like only a couple big tasks in one day, rather than doing lots of little things every day. For years I've been trying to do my life in the whole a little bit of everything every day, and I've just recently, with the realisation that I'm most probably autistic, I'm still awaiting an assessment. I like focusing on one thing at a time, and for like a decent length of time. I don't like flitting from task. I find transitioning from one task to another quite difficult. And so previously I've been trying to build these schedules where I'm doing like a little bit of cleaning every day and a little bit of cooking every day and a little bit of exercise and a little bit of that, and I'm realising that actually focusing on like 1 or 2 main things in a day. So for example, if I've been focusing on work all day and then dinner time comes round, I'm kind of like, I find it hard to transition out of focusing on work and then having to stop and cook dinner. Whereas if I have spent one day in a week where I just go in the kitchen and I do a few batch cooking sessions, and then, you know, like cook and wash dishes and just spend the day in the kitchen, my brain is happier than if I'm interrupting a task to go cook. So we're going to give this a try out and see how it works. So we've got my mum's minestrone soup. And then we've got a leek potato and smoked haddock soup. That should freeze okay. Again, I would double up this recipe because so my husband often makes fish and chips. We've got he makes amazing fish and chips. Kedgeree wouldn't really do well for batch cooking. The salmon pasta, if I remember rightly, it freezes quite well. And it's really funny because my brain thinks like tuna casserole and it just thinks ooh. But the salmon pasta recipe is actually really quite nice. Again, just cook up a double portion of it and jobs are good in. Fajitas. I'll put chicken fajitas to make it. So with that's where I could, because I find I take forever, because when I make fajitas, we have the chicken, the powdered sachet that you buy of fajita seasoning, 1 or 2 onions, and then like normally about 3 peppers, and then I cook all that together, and then obviously the wrap, and then sour cream, cheese, tomato, lettuce, avocado. Husband put salsa in his. I find that when I'm like chopping the onion and the peppers and the chicken and everything, it takes me forever. So it's actually quite a time. It's supposed to be a quick and easy recipe, but it actually takes me forever. So I'm going to basically do I already do, like, when I do one bundle at the moment, it does like 2 meals. I'm just going to start doubling up to what I normally do, and then it'll do 4 meals, and then all I have to do is like prepare the fresh, like the tomato, the lettuce, avocado, grate the cheese. That's it really. It makes it a bit easier. Yes, steak and burgers, that is like prepping the day. So these are things. Rosemary roasted chicken and potatoes. That's not something I've actually made yet. I don't know how well that would freeze. Yeah, I'm not sure how well that would freeze. Alright, this is my mother-in-law's curry sauce. So, mutton curry. We have a whole bunch of mutton in the freezer. Every year we kill an animal and put it in the freezer, and we have quite a backlog actually of mutton in the freezer that needs cooked. So what I'll normally do is I'll put the slow cooker on and put it in there, because it's mutton and not lamb. Basically, it's been running around in the fields for a bit longer. It's like you need to like cook it long and low. So slow cooking it at a low heat makes it come up really lovely and tender. So we've got taco salad and burritos. This is like, this recipe, this chili recipe is like a really quick and easy chili recipe that I don't tend to use, because we tend to do fajitas rather than burritos. But this chili con carne recipe is divine. So this is, and my daughter loves it as well. Bolognese, lasagna. Is it lasagna with an A on the end or an E on the end? I don't know. But yeah, we basically use my mum's bolognese sauce and then use it. It's got a different type of cheese sauce. It's got like eggs and cottage cheese and parmesan, rather than the normal cheese sauce where you do like milk and flour and cheese, like the bechamel type cheese sauce, and it's delicious. I absolutely love my mum's lasagna. Turkey pizza pie. Now this is a recipe that I was introduced to in America, and it was using like those crescent buns, like those like crescent rolls, and you can't get crescent rolls here in the UK. So I was using like either puff pastry or like croissant dough and adjusted it. It's quite nice. It's better fresh. Yes, I have frozen it and like reheated it, but it's not the greatest. I mean, it's a really quick and easy thing to prepare and chuck in the oven. Will I add it to my list? Will I? I think I might not, just for now, because it's fairly easy to make. you know what, let's just stick it on there. Turkey pizza pie. And then we've got a sticky lemon chicken. Again, another Gordon Ramsay recipe. Now this is really, really lovely. And it does actually reheat quite well. I'm just thinking, if I'm using pieces that got bones in them, how easy is that to reheat? I'll stick it down anyway. I'm going to be making it tomorrow. So I took the chicken out the freezer today. This isn't something that would really freeze very well. I think I have made extra and then frozen it, because this is something I used to cook back when I was with my ex. And there's only 2 of us. It's a recipe for 4 people. So I would like freeze the extras, but I don't tend to have pork chops very often. So I think I might leave it for now. Or do I want to? Because I do think it did actually reheat okay. I think it would. Because they were actually quite nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to add them on here and then baked pork chops. And then we've got turkey for Christmas, which I obviously am not going to batch cook. Omelettes, again, wouldn't. Broccoli noodles, that's a cook it fresh. That's a nope. So these are more accompaniments. And then we're into things like pancakes and my mum's pizza, pumpkin pie, and yeah, extra paper. So, I've got a cracking headache coming on. That's not very nice. So, complete side note, I've been trying to get a Welsh dresser for to go in my kitchen, because we had like this bookshelf in the corner of the kitchen where we had like cookbooks and like the clothes peg bags, the like CDs for the CD player that's in the kitchen, other books to do with like crafting and gardening and that kind of, outdoor farmy books, and like a bunch of other stuff. But my daughter kept pulling everything off the bookcase and it was doing my head in. So the plan is to replace the bookcase with a Welsh dresser. But I've been really struggling to get one that will fit the space, because it's 48 inches that we have to work with, like maximum, which is about 120 centimetres. And we keep finding ones that are like bigger. And like it seems like 135 centimetres or kind of like the 55 inches sort of ballpark is like really common size for Welsh dressers. Because I'm thinking if it's got doors like cupboard doors on the bottom, we can lock those, like the baby lock, and then hopefully she won't be able to reach the higher up shelves. So that is my plan. That's my grand master plan. But I've been really struggling to get a Welsh dresser. Totally first world problems. There's one that I found that's like a lot smaller than what I was aiming for. It's only like 60 centimetres wide. It's like half the size of what we could fit in the space. At this point I'm kind of like, well, smaller is better than nothing at all. It just means I have to declutter some things and pick what goes on the shelves and what, what doesn't. So, yeah, I'm just currently trying to get that sorted out. And because, of course, being up in Shetland, I can't like buy new furniture and order online or something, because getting it delivered here would be like twice the cost of the unit. So I'm kind of stuck with the second-hand market here in Shetland of finding like what other people are like discarding. So yeah, it's proving to be stressful. Alrighty, so I'm now gonna have a flick through some other cookbooks and look for inspiration. So this is Jamie Oliver, Ministry of Food. I love this. The concept behind it is that anyone can learn to cook, and it's all about teaching people how to do like simple basic recipes. And there's a lot of recipes in here that I really enjoy. I recently did a shout out on my Facebook page asking my friends like for inspiration about good cookbooks. Now I cook from paper. I don't do like looking recipes up online and then using like printing, like using like a tablet or a phone or something to cook from. I like physical cookbooks. So I was asking, and some folk were recommending some more of his cookbooks. I might check out some more of them. So let's just kind of skim through. So 20-minute meals. These are more like quick and easy. My husband does amazing steaks. I wouldn't touch on that. This is best fresh. This doesn't freeze very well. These are kind of like idea being it should be quick and easy. Don't really want to be. I've never tried the chicken and leek stroganoff, but that sounds like it could be quite good. That sounds like it could be really nice. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a some like tab marker things, and kitten sticky page markers, and I'm going to mark recipes that I want to give a try to. Now I'm not going to add things to my list until I actually know I like them. That probably wouldn't be I think the whole point of that is it's meant to be quick and easy, so that probably wouldn't be like a freeze meal. But Asian chicken noodle broth, oh my goodness, I need to get my mother-in-law's chicken soup recipe. I need to get my dad's inside out ravioli recipe. Oh, and actually, while I'm at it, my dad's oven fried chicken, because it's really good. Asian chicken noodle broth, chicken fajitas. I do my own. Oh, so he's actually got the like a seasoning and a homemade salsa. I'm happy just using the packet, and then I just cook it. Yeah, I'm happy with how we do fajitas. So quick pasta, baked camembert pasta. Oh, that looks good. Broccoli and pesto tagliatelle, probably not. I'm not a big broccoli fan. I need to get my mother-in-law's A macaroni cheese recipe. Because it's really nice. And what she also knows to do is put like chorizo sausage or something in it. And serve it with baked beans. So good. See, none of these are kind of really jumping out at me that make me want to try them. Stir fries, the whole point of them is they're meant to be quick and easy. I do need to try some of these easy curries. I said my mother-in-law has the best curry recipe. It's like so good. Although I wonder if I should try some of his. Now korma is too mild really to work with mutton, because mutton's got quite a strong flavour. So if I was to do like a chicken curry, I guess I could do a chicken korma. Okay, so that's kind of more like a veggie. Leftover curry biryani. Lamb Rogan Josh. Onions, chili, ginger, coriander, bay leaves. I might give that a try. Because it's, yeah, Rogan Josh works well with lamb, so it should work well with mutton. Tikka masala. I don't want to flag everything, so we'll kind of flag a couple items, and then we'll vindaloo definitely not because it's hot. Aloo gobi, green Thai curry, vegetable bhajis, light and fluffy rice. I need to actually read through. Actually, yeah, let's read this. Put a large pan of salted water on a high heat and bring to the boil. Rinse the rice in a colander under running water for about 1 minute or until the water runs clear. This will stop the grains sticking together later. Add your rice to the boiling water and wait for the grains to start dancing around. From that point, boil for 5 minutes. Drain the rice in a colander. Pour 2.5 cm water into the pan. Put it back on the heat and bring it to the boil again. Then turn down to simmer. Cover the rice in the colander with foil. Wait, hang on. No, just steam it over for 8 to 10 minutes. Okay. Interesting. And then how to do different types of rice, and then how to do different like homemade curry pastes. Some salad ideas. Can't turn the page. Dressings, how to like make some salads. Potato salad. Oh, I need to get my mum's coleslaw on potato salad. Evolution tomato salad. It's different like salads. It's kind of mix and match ideas. Poached chopped salad, Mediterranean chopped salad, rice salad, simple soups. Now basically all of his soups are like carrots, celery, onions, garlic, and then whatever else he puts in. Sweet potato and shredded soup is actually quite nice. Gordon Ramsay's leek and potato soup is better than his. And you can either do this with butternut squash or sweet potato. So that is quite nice. Pea and mint soup, tomato soup. I made his tomato soup back when I was with my ex and he really didn't like it, so I've never made it since. I should maybe give it another try. Lentil and spinach, cauliflower cheese soup, parsnip and ginger. Homely mince. See, my daughter prefers soup with croutons. So we've got burgers, we have got... Oh, that's a good shout actually. I could do like a big batch of meatballs in the slow cooker with a sauce. Or just do a big batch, cook a big batch of meatballs. I did that one time when there was like a special offer on meatballs at the shop. I just bought ones. And that worked quite well actually, meatballs. Minced beef Wellington. Pot roast. Yeah, see, I have issues with meatloaf. I absolutely hated meatloaf as a kid. But I mean, that was also back when I didn't like ketchup, so I would probably like it now. But so I've got my own bolognese sauce. I've got my own lasagna, which is better than that. I've got my own chili con carne, which is amazing. A mince and onion pie would probably be quite good. And I was thinking, oh, but it being a pie kind of puts me off. However, if I'm doing the whole concept of spending a day cooking, making a big pie isn't as daunting. But pies don't tend to freeze so well because the pastry is never quite so nice. Second time around. So stews. So this page is very useful. It's basically got, if you're making a stew, you put certain of everything in, and then you, depending on what kind of stew you're making, I used a cow's back vein that I got from the abattoir to make like a beef and ale stew, and it was really nice. So stew. And that can be whatever meat I've got going on. And then I've got puff pastry lid, dumplings, hot pot, cottage pie. He does have really good recipes in this book for like how to do different roasts, like the seasoning, the herbs and stuff to mix for the different types of meat. And I found these to be really user friendly, and I found them to be really good. I've done roast beef. I've never done the roast pork, I don't think, but I've done the roast chicken. And I found them to be good. And then he also has, this is quite nice, like roast potatoes and parsnips. So it's kind of, and then he also I think has like Yorkshire puddings and stuffing, and gravy, sage and onion stuffing, Yorkshire pudding. So it's kind of like how to do like a full roast dinner, and then all the different like applesauce, mint sauce, horseradish sauce, like the sauces and stuff. He then has got a whole section on vegetables, how to do different vegetables, minted peas, baked creamy leeks, cauliflower cheese, I seem to think I cooked these, but I find them quite dry, whereas the baked pork chops, because they've got that nice sauce on them, they were a bit better. Maybe I was just paranoid and overcooking things. I'm kind of looking for things that I can batch cook. This was actually really good. I've not cooked it in forever. I don't have a food processor anymore though, and it was much easier to do in a food processor. But basically do homemade chicken, and then it was really nice with like a simple tomato pasta. You know, chuck some pasta on to cook and then throw like a tin of chopped tomatoes, some herbs, that kind of thing into the pot, and then serve it with this. If I were to be if I were to be doing this, then I might as well batch cook it. So instead of doing like 2 skinless chicken breasts, do 8. Yeah, this is something I need to get back into, because that was actually really nice. And that should freeze okay, because it's basically just homemade chicken escalopes, basically. And then you can have them with like salad, or like you could put them in a burger and like make a chicken burger out of it. Yeah, so we don't do lamb. If I remember, this was quite nice. Yeah, if I remember, this was quite nice. This is more of a one meal. It doesn't freeze very well, but something that does. Cod wrapped in pan fried curried cod. Where is the recipe? It should be in here somewhere. Italian pan-seared tuna. Salsas. Where is the... Okay, classic fish is in here. Oh, fish cakes. That's something I can totally... Fish cakes. Because this recipe specifically says you can freeze it and then just like cook them. Like, you know, defrost and then cook them when you're ready. Oh, fish pie. Yes, fish pie. He has a really good fish pie recipe. Again, it's best like when it's fresh, but it can be frozen and reheated. Yeah, he has a really nice fish pie recipe. Kedgeree salmon on crew. Now again, it doesn't reheat as well, but because my husband works at a salmon farm, and so he comes home with like a side of salmon, and they're huge. And so if you use like lots of buff pastry and make like really big portions, then it totally feeds several people. But that's one where I would never actually go out and buy salmon for it, because as I said, we get salmon for free. A salmon en croûte. A paella. That wouldn't really be a good batch one. Prawns. This is like cooked breakfasts and porridge and pancakes and smoothies. But see, this is where it's like properly teaching you how to cook. It's like how to boil and poach an egg and stuff, because some people like me back in the day don't know how to do that. And then some omelette ideas, granola, how to make your own granola. Sorry, my throat's a bit kind of like, my voice has been a bit odd today. And then we get into puddings, which I'm not as bothered about. I don't really tend to do puddings. So, I mean, the cookies are good. I like cookies. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start drawing boxes, and I'm going to wrap this video up. What I might do is I might like stop this video because I'm aware this video is getting really long, but then basically record another video. Like right off the back of this one. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What I might do is I might keep this page clear, because then I can just extend it across if I wish to. I should do that. And then we're going to put lines underneath each one. Because I'm basically just looking for inspiration, because I feel like we're having the same stuff all the time. And I said, if I can start doing twice, like every week, do a couple big batches, like one day a week. Or if I'm finding that's not working, maybe like once a fortnight do 4 big batches sort of thing, you know, that kind of thing. It just means I've kind of got like a rolling plan anyway. And as I said, there's like plenty of other recipes that we can do. Like my husband could cook an amazing steak. Like just generic supermarket steak. Not even like fancy stuff bought from a butcher's, but oh my goodness. It is so good. And he cooks it with like mushrooms and onions and stuff. And no sauce, just the flavour of the steak. And it's just like, my brother was visiting us once and he was like, oh, do you guys, we don't actually own any steak knives. And he was like, oh, where's the steak knives? And we were like, you don't need steak knives. Not for this. And he was a bit sceptical at first. And then he realised that you really, when my husband has cooked steak, you really don't need a steak knife. I think I'm just gonna like clean the tip of that pen, because it's just so tender and delicious, and it's, like I said, not even like expensive steak. But the only problem with that is it's ruined going out for dinner for steak. Like I cannot have steak in a restaurant now because it's just never as good as what I can get at home. So we don't eat steak out in restaurants anymore. There we go. At least that's like a starting point. And I can go ahead and I can colour in the minestrone soup, because I just made some of that, and the chili con carne. I just made some of that, and yeah, that's like a good like starting point. So hopefully I'll kind of just create, because ideally I'd like to have like my perfect diet would be in every week having 2 vegetarian meals, 2 fish meals, and then 3 meat meals. And at the moment we don't eat nearly enough fish, and I don't think we have quite enough like vegetarian, so we need to work on that. But that's enough for today's video. I'm gonna love you and leave you. You guys take care. I hope you're all keeping well, and I'll speak to you again sometime soon. Bye bye.